ladies and I always do that, man. Why doesn't it? I hate that it doesn't revert back. There it is. They're all popped up. Thank you, everybody, once again for joining another episode of the ABJ Podcast, episode 14. We are rolling along here, coming into a brand new year. Thank you all for such an amazing 2022, hitting some great numbers with the podcast and things that I never even thought we'd accomplish in such a short time. But you guys have been killing it. I appreciate the love, the feedback, the support. Been having some banger guests, and that's not going to stop here in 2023 because we're doing double ups all month long of January, one in the afternoon, one at night. And so let's keep this train rolling. Make sure if you're listening on any platform, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, Anchor later on, Apple, leave a review. My Facebook page, you can click on it in the links below and head over to the review tab. Leave a review. I'm going to start reading reviews on the podcast live when we first start, as well as links to support me, buy some merchandise, and support the channel. The big thing I'm pushing now is the Patreon. It's a monthly subscription. It can be $1. It can as low as $1, or you can go wherever you want. But that's a monthly thing that comes out, and it helps pay for some travel. It pays to keep the podcast rolling, to pay for things like Anchor, not Anchor, StreamYard, as well as the post editing apps that I use. So that it all goes to that. And if I can make enough after, or I can start putting towards equipment or gas money to get back and forth towards shows, or to put a little nest egg for things like I'm going to say right now. Links below for two talent in this area who are recently injured and are going through a lot that can use our support. The independent wrestling scene is a great thing, and it's a great launching point for a lot of people that we see on TV right now. Most of what you're watching on television, minus maybe 3 or 4 people, all came out of this Northeast area and grinded and busted their ass. But a lot of them as well are people who work shoot jobs, who are trying to pay the bills or trying to get through some things. We just had recently a holiday that's not easy on people. So if you can support Adena Steele and Philly Mike Swanson in their links below, they have subscription services, they have merchandise, they have social medias. Just drop them, give them a follow, show them some love, say, hey, we're thinking about you. That would mean the world to me as well as them and a lot of people around them. Also, our links below for our guests will be there. So let's get this party started without further ado. Episode 14. Let's bring in everyone's favorite Unk. I almost said Oos because that's not the same thing. But everyone's favorite Unk, Uncle Masty. What's going on, bud?
What's up, Blackwell? What's up?
Not Uncle Buck. I think you're making a run for Uncle Buck. I think, you know what I mean. I think when people think Uncle, I think Uncle Masty is entering the hearts of people in the Northeast area.
I do believe people are starting to warm up to their crazy uncle. Thank goodness for that, because I got a whole company that needs their help. So just happy to be along for the journey. Uncle Buck, Canadian bacon stripes, whatever John Candy you want to give me, I'll eat it.
Well, listen, man. I think one of the things that both of us have bonded over and really are receptive to is it's one thing to support the independent wrestling scene. I think both of us really have shown in the past couple of years that's what we're about. That's why I love High Tension. That's why I love places like the Sanctuary. But you take it a step further, which I love, because there's a tattoo that's coming in the works and possibly a t-shirt in the works for me that represent the same thing that you're trying to represent. We love our 570. We are when it comes to the 570, we are championing that. There's a lot of people who are like, man, I can't wait to get rich to leave this area. Bro, I could be a billionaire and I'd still live in these dirty coal hills because there's nothing like it. The people you meet, the connections you have, it's the best. It's the absolute best.
Yeah, right about there. Right about there.
Yeah.
Walking to the Poconos, the 570 is a beautiful place, and it is home, sweet home.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, even when I was a kid and I was talking about my first tattoo, I never got it, but my first tattoo I was going to get, you remember how the inside lip tattoo was popular?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get 570 on the inside of my lip. Like, I've been repping 570 for when they changed the area code and they were going to make people have different, it was like 985.
They were gonna add one. I think they did add one, 252 maybe.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, if they, I'll be pissed. I'll be upset about it.
I was really worried that they were gonna try to split the 570 up, but I guess what they did is they just started issuing numbers within the area code with that.
Yeah.
So we're still intact as far as I'm concerned. I'm 570 from earth to birth,
That's
or
right.
earth to earth. That's how it goes. Yeah.
That sounds really good. Yeah. So it's definitely something that I'm just as passionate about you, and I think that's where we kind of bonded was our bond for this dirty coal hole. I love it. You know what I mean? And everything that it encompasses, whether it's a small business, whether it's the people you meet, whether it's the people in this area working their ass off trying to create and trying to make beautiful art when it comes to anything. But it really hones in for us on the professional wrestling scene. You've been in this business quite some time. You've been around a long time from the days of the Wild Samoans to then, kind of reinvent yourself coming back to the scene with the Sanctuary and helping there and putting some great storylines together. And then really, I guess I would say, really built that confidence up to then create what we now are here to talk about today, and that's Smash Master Wrestling.
Smash, baby. Yeah, I've been around the block a time or two. You'll never hear me claim to be like a 20-year guy because I spend more time out than in. I've always been dabbling with just various forms of entertainment, not just wrestling. So to be back and to be focused, and for the first time ever on reinvigorating the scene, it feels good. It feels good to not have to worry about what Wawa I'm going to stop and eat at on the way home because I'm going to go home. It's a beautiful thing.
I do like my Wawa stops though. Yeah. So what was your driving force behind starting Smash Master Wrestling, and how did we get this project off the ground? One of my favorite parts of it, man, is really I think you've taken from your veteran and being in part of locker rooms and being part of environments. I think you've taken the best parts of that. So as a fan, I think you have a completely different experiences if you're one of the boys or if you're a worker, right? Um, and being a worker in a locker room, sometimes you're in some places and you're just like, bro, I cannot wait for this fucking show to be over. I need to get home. And you're thinking to yourself, like, I'm not gonna get home till 2:30 in the morning, and then I have this tomorrow. Like, but when you're at a certain show, you can see that writing on the wall, but you're just so happy to be around the people you're around. You're excited for the way the show's gonna go. You're excited for not just one match, you're excited for five. And I think you've really encompassed that and put that into Smash Master Wrestling. And my question is, what was your mindset going into this and how did you create this environment?
I'm glad you asked the question again at the back end because you know me, I've been hitting the head a lot and I forget things. I think me running a promotion was always inevitable, even from the earliest days. Pops used to have me help with flyers and graphic design, and I've always been someone to dream up matches. Matchmaking is just something I absolutely love. I love the scout talent and look for comps of like who would work well with who. Anybody that's ever worked with me on booking, especially here at Smash, knows that I'm very particular about my matchups. I like to have a roster that you can put anybody against anybody, but I also like to have well engineered, well thought out matchups. I want to be able to show off, what these kids that we've picked to come wrestle for us. So I think it was always inevitable that I was going to run my own promotion, and I never thought it would be this soon. I always figured I'd be done wrestling before I started to do it, but it just kind of fell into my lap. And sometimes fate dictates, fate books its own stuff, and I ended up at the Troop Civic Center, an hour and a half away from my house is my true home away from home now. And I couldn't imagine doing shows anywhere else because it's been such a great place to be. But I think honestly, the driving force behind all of this, I've been booking or helping with booking or doing scouting or agenting pretty much everywhere I go. Just doing it on my own is the first time that I don't have to ask permission.
Mhm.
I'm the guy that everybody asks permission now. The answer is no. So
It's good to be in those shoes, huh?
it's nice. Yeah, I don't have to hear it. I just get to say it, No.
So your promotion's interesting in the fact that there's really, I mean, every wrestling company starts with one thing and one thing in mind, and that's to be the top, right? To hold that shiny piece of gold or silver, and to have that cow's leather around your waist. How do you keep the fans engaged in what's happening in the ring and building up as a promotion when there's really no end game in sight when it comes to what to achieve?
Well, Blackwell, I like to look at it this way. I like to think of Smash Master Wrestling as about fist fights for fun and money. And that's what we're all out there for, is to have a good time, because we're from the 570. There's nothing else to do but punch each other in the face.
And drink.
So yeah, and drink. So like, that's just building the stories without a belt. I like to think of it as, I wear bib overalls, right? Like, you've seen me wrestle. I wear bibs. You know what you don't need when you wear bibs? You don't need a belt. And our wrestling doesn't need belts either. They're great to have out there, but we're not looking to break outside of the area code. So what do we need a championship to say you're the best in the area code for? If you think you're the best, just come prove it. And consistently prove it, and we'll settle the arguments and the water cooler talk about who's better. We'll settle that in the ring. But we don't need some fancy piece of jewelry to go out there and say I'm better than everybody else. Because let me tell you what happens as soon as you put a belt in the mix with these folks. All of the most underhanded, dirty backroom tactics start, so people can get a shot or win a belt. You know what? I just don't have time to deal with it. I want to put good matchups out there that people want to see and that people want to wrestle in. And that's the start and end of it. And the stories just kind of happen. We're 5 shows in, we haven't had a belt, and not a single one of the fans have said, hey, when are we getting belts?
Mm-hmm.
The only ones that ask for the wrestlers.
Yeah. I look at it like this, and I'll break it down in terms of 570. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. But this is how I kind of look at it. In the 570, man, we really don't have a quote unquote belt to achieve. One or two things are going to happen if you're a 570 person. Either you're going to work really, really hard and uplift the 570, or you're going to work really hard and you're going to leave the 570 and you're going to make something of yourself. But the true 570 people go and make something of themselves out there and bring their glory and their clout back home. And that's your belt. So I think that's kind of when it comes to Smash Master Wrestling is you're out there and you're proving yourself, and we bring outsiders in, or you bring these great talent are to showcase how good the 570 are, to reestablish it and build up what we have going on here.
If you think about the roads that travel through this area code, of course, you've got Interstate 80 and 81, two of the greatest transportation routes in the entire country. You've got US Route 11 that just runs the entire gamut from border to border, south to north. You've got the Turnpike, the Northeast Extension. You've got these traveling lanes. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. You've got all these traveling lanes and all these people traveling through. Well, why are we driving 3 hours to, bumfuck Egypt, New York? Sorry, I'm allowed to curse, right?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. To travel up to bumfuck Egypt, New York, and wrestle in front of the same 40 people that we could wrestle in front of at home. Or we could just bring people to us. If the guys from Pittsburgh are already coming through to go to New Jersey, why don't they just stop here?
Speaking
of
folks coming
from Philly are going to Boston.
Every show I try to rock a different independent person every podcast. People aren't catching on yet, but that's what I'm doing.
Love the Runway, by the way.
Oh
love
God,
the Runway. One of my favorite tag teams out there.
And they've had appearances in Smash Master Wrestling.
They have, and they will have more.
Love that for them.
But yeah, I like having this, like, there was this kid in my high school who used to wear the shirt, and he'd always get in trouble, but he'd wear it anyway. And it said, if assholes would fly, this place would be an airport. Well, I like to think of Smash Master Wrestling as the asshole airport. We've got people coming across from everywhere. The conversations that I've had of lining up talent this year, unfair, completely unfair to see what's going to be coming into our rinky-dink little office town, even what we've been able to pull off so far. Having Masha stop by on our second show to just say hello to everybody and toss it down with Adena Steele, there's going to be good stuff. I'm just tired of second-rate pro wrestling. And I'm not pointing out any of the promotions in specific, but I'm just tired of half-assed wrestling being done. And I want to just do everything I can to provide a platform for the folks that are around here and from here to be able to perform, but not just perform. I want those kids in the local community to be able to be like, oh, hey, Adena Steele is up the street from me. Oh, Kit Raff works at the mall that I go to. I want people that are in the community to be able to go, I know this guy. He does this really cool thing. Hey, maybe I could do that someday too. And that's how we continue to restock the pond. My days of traveling around the world to do pro wrestling, let's be honest, I'm going to be 40 this year. I'm not going to do a whole lot of that world travel stuff, but I still have the ability to do this. So why wouldn't I want to make the grass greener where I'm from? And my goal is that every single person that wrestles for Smashmaster outgrows it.
Yeah. That's exactly what you want to do, man. And that's kind of what the feeling I get of why you don't need titles, and we're once again on the same page of how you grow your backyard. Your grass is greener where you water it. You know what I mean? And I love that. And I'm at a point now where I'm trying to build my brand, so I once again can maybe I've tried to grow within the 570. But sometimes in the 570, you have to kind of go out of the area and build that following and bring it back home, because then people see the clout, then they chase it. That's what I'm working on right now, is trying to build a platform that people at home care or think that I'm doing some cool things. But it's fun because that's once again, I'm trying to bring that back to the 570. And if I can say, like, man, like, you come to this area, we have this dope town, and Tony Deppin's Brewery, which is showcasing wrestling, and we have High Tension, and we have the Sanctuary, of all these awesome places that you don't have to travel very far to experience really dope shit, you know? And that's the goal, man. I love how you're kind of recreating that with Smashmaster Wrestling. So Smashmaster Wrestling is in with their 5 shows total, right?
5 shows currently, yes.
I believe when it comes down, you can watch everything on IWTV. Soon to be, starting very soon, everything will be on the Smashmaster Wrestling YouTube channel. So if you're right here on YouTube, which I hope you are, you can watch it on Facebook, you can watch it on Twitch, you can watch it on Twitter, but scrubs, come over to the YouTube side and hit subscribe. When you scroll down, you're going to see a tab that says people I follow, my friends, and there's a whole bunch of cool content creators you can follow, and you can just scroll through and hit one button. Or you can see a tab that says places I've worked. Now, I've never technically worked for Smashmaster Wrestling, but I put your page there, right? So scroll through and you're going to see the Sanctuary, you're going to see High Tension, you're going to see Smashmaster Wrestling. Hit that subscribe button and go check out some really, really good wrestling.
I'm going to make you do a segment with Samira just so you can say that you worked Smashmaster.
Yeah. I've rang a bell. I've rang a bell.
That's right. You were part of staff, so.
Yes. Which is funny because when I interviewed Ref Gina, I told her when I ring the bell, I like to verbalize back to the ref, like, two. I think it's funny, but she says when referees see that, it helps them stay in mindset mode, because you're like you're responding, because sometimes referees don't have an actual bell person to respond to, so they're just miming it to nobody. And I try to lock in with the ref, like, two, and they're just, and like, they'll, yeah, and then, you know what I mean? I think it's an element of the show that's fun. Are making sure referees that look like Jesus learn how to count. You know what I mean? I had to help him during the last man standing match, right? To
I'm going to have to send my referees back to a primer. I still cannot believe that Matty D keeps falling for that Eddie Guerrero trick every time. He falls for it every single time.
Matty D will be on the ABJ podcast very soon. He's been in the business a long time, and he's someone that maybe we had a little tough this year, but we kissed and made up at Smashmaster Wrestling. Gave a big smooch on the mouth, and we're in good place.
Love and violence, you know. That's
love it. Yeah,
hugcore, baby. We're all hugcore.
But yeah, so where was I going with that? Yeah, so go subscribe and check over the Smashmaster Wrestling. Now, one of the things that another thing with Smashmaster Wrestling is you've been building up some good stars. You have been building up talent. You've been building up people who I feel have become like MVP statuses of your company. And 2 of those people are the links below, who are probably going to be out most of 2023 due to injury. Which is a fucking heartbreaker, because Adena had probably one of the coolest years of her career that year, and Philly Mike had a banger of a year in 2023 and was doing it on a completely destroyed knee, which is when he came back and said, dude, the doctor said my ACL, MCL, and complete meniscus were destroyed to the point where they couldn't even replace one part of the meniscus because it was shredded cheese. And then you go back to Smashmaster, you go back to Sanctuary, you go back to GTS, you go back to every promotion that Philly Mike worked in 2023 and think, that guy did all of that on that knee.
He
is
dove
crazy.
off of a balcony on the Miles Millennium at a Frontier Pro Wrestling show, and he had a destroyed knee. And
Yeah.
all that happened out of it is he had a bruised heel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think that these two talents did what they did in 2023, and we might not have them in 2022, and we might not have them in 2023. In ring, I'm sure we're going to see them at shows, and they're going to be doing some cool shit to keep things alive. But the cool thing about Smash Master Wrestling too is you have some hungry talent who once again there's not a really top spot to go for because they're not going for the jewelry leather, but they want those moments. They want to have those opportunities to make the crowd fall for them. And I have a list of a few, but I'm sure I want you to add as well. Who are those next rising stars of Smash Master Wrestling to keep that torch going for those two huge losses of your company?
I gotta admit, losing Mike and Adena was very painful. I mean, obviously, it was painful for both of them, but I'm not gonna lie. Adena was set up to be Superman.
As she should.
There was nobody when I was looking at the pool of talent I had available that I wanted to work with. Adena was always high on that list. I believe in her so fully and absolutely. I know what she's capable of. I've gone up to Scranton. I've trained with her and Kit.
I've
I've
gotten
spent a
heat
lot
from
of
promoters fighting for Adena. That's a shoot. That's a shoot.
it really is. She's just that good. She has this figured out, and a freak accident, on a Christmas show in a friendly match. What we do is no joke. What we do is serious. What we do is dangerous. And
And she's probably in there with the meanest, toughest, kayfabe wise, meanest, dirtiest people in professional wrestling. But behind the curtain, if I was ever going to be in a wrestling match, they are the safest, most gentle people you want to be in the ring with. And that's just part of this business is just having those injuries is a freak thing.
Fabe or no Fabe, the War Machines and I have gone back 20 years. There's nobody I would trust more than them, but shit happens. And we all understand that there's an implied risk when you decide to be a professional wrestler. You sign up for certain things that is likely to happen or is possible to happen. I've been kicked in the head more times than I can count, and that's not even counting the fact that I've been kicked in the head a lot of times and can't count. There's just some things that are going to happen, and losing Adena, it sucked because I had to change the entire trajectory of what 2023 is going to look like. There's always a game plan. I do not book month by month. I do not book show by show. And I've said it repeatedly online. If you see a show announcement from me, don't bother hitting me up asking me for a spot because it's already booked. Like, I don't announce shows that I don't have plans for already. So when I lost Adena, I had to reevaluate everything. And we went from a Vince McMahon mindset to a Jim Crockett mindset. And I just had the right awful person step up to the plate and hit a home run and unfortunately take Philly Mike out in the process. So losing Mike was rough. I had big plans for Mike. Philly Mike Swanson is a star that just needs a chance to shine. And
His love for the business is so infectious too. There's not many people who I've traveled with or talked to or work with who just generally love professional wrestling like Philly Mike does.
I spent the weekend with Mike and Riley down in Atlantic City at the GCW JCW weekend, and I needed it so much. I've been to a wrestling show as just a innocent bystander in a long time, and going with Mike and Riley was such a breath of fresh air. I didn't hear the entire time someone's critique of the show. did we talk about some things? Sure, we did, but it wasn't like, oh my god, let me shit all over this, let me shit all over that.
You generally enjoy what you're watching and pull
Yeah.
out the positives. That's why I like hanging out with him and Riley. Yeah.
Like when Nick Gage came out and you've got like Gimpy McGimperton over there standing one leg on top of his chair to see his homeboy come through, like that excitement is infectious. And I needed that. I think everybody in wrestling needs to be around people that love wrestling. I think my biggest pet peeve is being in a locker room and hearing a bunch of guys put their gear on and complain about being a wrestler. Oh, I hate this. I don't know why I do this every day. Well, I don't know the fuck you do it either. Hey, guys, you don't like being a professional wrestler. Stop.
Go home. Stay home.
Stop wasting everybody's time. The crowd knows you're not into it. The other wrestlers are miserable being around you. If you hate the business that much, leave it. I love that shit.
I was very close. I was in that mind state very, very early in my career, and I shouldn't have been, because I listened to some of those vets and I got caught up in that nonsense. And being around people like Riley and Mike and Pete really pulled me out of it. And I was like, yo, I'll never go back there again. Like
those bitter wrestling fucks, man, they will kill you faster than any head dump wrestling move will.
Yep.
That'll
yes, they will.
The joy right out of it. Find people that love this and surround yourself with them, and then watch how much more you love it too.
Yep, that's honestly what I learned late 2022 is surrounding yourself with positive people and people who generally want to be around you and generally want to see everyone around them get better. And the end of 2022, the last 3-4 months, and going into 2023, I feel like I'm unstoppable.
That snarky mentality, that sarcastic, snide demeanor, fuck that. Keep that shit away from me. You know,
stay home.
Just stay home. Stay home. If you don't want to be a wrestler, don't be a wrestler. I spent way too much time last year, the first half of the year, around someone that just hated it so much and spent so much time trying to plan his exit. And I said to him, I said, why don't you just fucking quit?
Trying to book a farewell tour that probably only 3 people care about.
Yeah, no, and even those 3 people, you're one of them, your mom's one of them, and your dad. Like, if you got to plan your retirement tour and you haven't done anything to, earn enough money to retire, then you're not retiring. You're just quitting or stopping.
You're quitting your hobby.
Exactly. Like, come on. I've left the business twice, and not once have I even put a public post out saying I'm leaving the business.
Here's the honest, harsh truth of professional wrestling. Any of us, I literally just said to somebody the other day, because I was like, you look at AEW and you say, like, dude, the moments that Willow had, the moments Axe and Andretti had, were special for maybe a couple thousand people in the Northeast area because of how much support they have for them, but the rest of the world has no fucking idea. There is the independent wrestling scene across the country, not just saying the world, the country, is so fucking huge that sometimes you need to humble yourself and be like, you're not as big or as valuable as you think you are right now, because no one, if 100 people know you, that's awesome. But in the grand scheme, if you walk away, those shoes will be filled and the train will keep on moving. You know what I mean? And that's where you have to kind of humble yourself and just be like, how you said, have fun. By the way, I think when the Smash Master merch comes out, there should just be a gray shirt that just says "Stay home."
Stay home. That may be a shirt.
Just stay home. If you're not here for the love, if you're not here to get the crowd behind you, if you're not here for any of the right reasons, stay home. I love that shirt. I'll wear it.
I know you've heard me go on this rant, and I probably was not in the right state of mind when I've done it, but I call it wrestle drugs. If you can come through that curtain and not get that little jiggle in the back of your neck, if you can.
I've never hit that curtain, and I get it watching other people do it.
Oh my God. Like I wasn't even close to being a part of anything having to do with the shows this weekend. And like, it just felt good to be around that electricity again. And it was cool as shit. Like there's just good moments. And if you allow yourself to have fun, let yourself have fun, you will have fun. half these motherfuckers got to stop taking the shit so fucking seriously, though. Guys, calm yourselves down. This is a really awesome and fun hobby for most of you. Most of us that are doing pro wrestling are going to spend more money than we ever make.
Amen.
That's okay. That is okay. You are not a failure if that is what your story is. It's okay.
Dude, gas and tolls this year. I look back and I was like, holy shit.
I got
gas
a
and tolls.
pass. I don't even want to look at the statement every month. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, all
It
right.
seems like every month I'm getting 8 letters from the Pennsylvania Transportation just saying, hey, here's more tolls you have to pay. It's like, holy fuck.
Just get the easy pass. Just get the easy pass. Let it auto pay right out of your debit account.
Yeah.
Don't even look at it. It's less depressing that way. But seriously, wrestling is fun. Wrestling is fun. Wrestling's for everyone.
I wouldn't trade any of those bills for the world. It was traveling to those shows. I had the best fucking times of my life.
I'm reading the comments on the side because you know me, I got to be in 14 places at once. I got to call out somebody.
Go ahead.
Thank
you everyone for being in the chat as well. Please, thank you. If you have any questions or add to the conversation, please do so. I try not to overwhelm the chat with the conversation because I feel like if a conversation is going, sometimes you bypass it. But if good ones pop in, I do throw them in there. But I appreciate all of you. That interaction in that comment section, the more it grows and the more people talk, the more that helps the channel get recognized and noticed because the algorithms say, oh, this is popping. Let's get more people in here.
Yeah, social media is all about attention, and the more attention, the more interaction, the better it works, which is why you'll notice if you look at my friends' posts, like there's always a heart or thumbs up from me all the time. I'm always going to share the love.
Great show, Mr. Anthony and Uncle Masty. My dad said you guys paid for a new baseball glove with your swear jar money.
As long as he doesn't say the words, we're good. But I was actually about to bring them up. Last night, I made the announcement, like, we don't have a whole lot of awards or anything. We're only 5 shows in. We've only been running since July. But I did want to, throw some call outs to some people.
I don't keep Christmas cards because I think it's stupid. So sorry if you give you a Christmas card, I throw it away. This one, I still have it. My Gavin Christmas card. It won't go
Mine
anywhere.
is over in the frame with the 5-7 ho 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 show poster, which will be on sale at our next show. Please buy posters for me. It helps me pay all the talent. Anyway, last night we announced Gavin as the Commissioner's Choice Award, and going forward, that award is just going to be called the Commish Gavin Award. But I couldn't give Gavin Rookie of the Year because, let's be honest, the kid's been going to shows. He's probably got more shows in this year than most wrestlers do. My Rookie of the Year, and I'll make the announcement. Breaking news right now. My Rookie of the Year for Smash Master Wrestling 2022. George Polomides.
There it is.
My man, George.
The Rookie of the Year.
Man, Rookie of the Year. I didn't even have to think twice about it. Sorry, Ricky Price. I love you to death. You haven't won shit, though.
Screw Ricky Price.
Polomides is the MVP Rookie of the Year. He's earned it. This guy never did a wrestling show other than a fan, right? Was never part of a show until Smash 1. Came in, became our MC, and completely stamped his own on it. Like nobody is like George. And George, you are our Rookie of the Year. Love you, brother. Looking forward to all the shit I'm going to put you through this upcoming year and many, 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 many more to come. I keep seeing George in the comments, and it's like I gotta throw it out.
I pulled George aside. I think the first or second show I was at, and I reviewed some shows and I watched some shows, and I said to him, I said, listen, dude, I said, you're doing the one thing in this business that I aspired to do since I started, and that was being unapologetically me. I didn't play a character. I mean, I'm going to start playing a character only because I want to have a little more fun with it and I want to dive into it. But still, at the end of the day, my character still represents a lot of me.
You turned up to 11, man.
Yeah. But George is just such a breath of fresh air because you don't understand how many wrestling shows that when you travel and you go to. And no offense to any ring announcer, I love all of you, but sometimes when people do the Howard Fink voice, but they do it in their own version and they put that like that's not you. That's not your voice. You're trying to be the next person that you watched as a kid, be the first you. And when I look at people like George, I think of people like Emil. I think of people like Pat McAfee, of people who just came into this business and said, "Nah, I'm gonna be me all the time, and I'm not gonna go out there and just be a carbon copy or a clone of somebody else because this is the radio voice, or this is what your voice should sound like, or this is what a ring announcer sounds like." George just goes out and he's George, and it's a breath of fresh air, and it's great to see.
I think you probably noticed it last year at the Sanctuary. I don't like the term ring announcer. I think it has like the stuffy connotation. I started calling him my host.
I like that.
He's the host of the show. Just like I don't like calling commentary. You're my narrators.
Yeah.
You narrate the story that people are seeing. George is the host of the party. I don't even like to look at what we do as having shows. We're hosting a pro wrestling party experience.
Yeah.
I want you to come down and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And George exemplifies all of that. And I cannot wait to see, because just even in the couple shows that he's been doing this, you can start to see some adaptation. He's finding his voice amongst his energy, and it's a beautiful thing that's coming together. You know, me and Mike were down at that GCW show. We're watching Emil, and
he's a blast to watch.
Oh my God, he's great. He's absolutely fantastic. There's none of that like stuffy, prim and proper, gotta wear a suit and be Michael Buffer, you know, because
or stay completely quiet and then walk into the ring and then stand on your cue and your mark and then go
yeah.
Like George hits the mic as soon as he hit the curtain, like, yo, what did y'all think of that match? That was dope. And then he's talking as he's getting in the ring. Like, yeah.
You gotta throw gas on the fire nonstop, otherwise you're just coasting, and it makes that in between time awkward. As a consumer of entertainment, I don't do much on this planet, but I consume a lot of entertainment. I hate dead air. I have a degree in journalism. I started out in broadcast communications. I had a radio show when I was in college. Dead air is like a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
George doesn't allow for dead air, and that's what I love. As soon as that one match is over, boom, wow, what did you guys think of that? And like he's just like throwing. The meat pole is flying, and I love it. I love it. It keeps everybody alive. It never lets anybody fall asleep or get bored or, God forbid, pull their phone out and get lost.
Yep.
I want that phone to not exist. I'll take your pictures and videos. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, please, and TikTok stuff and take clips.
Please. But I
made one clip at a Smash Master show, and it was the most viewed thing I put on the internet until they took it down because it was violent. Philly Mike getting thrown off the U-Haul was my.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna try to redo it though. I'm gonna repost it.
But yeah, like I love that. I need that. That's the kind of energy that I wanted for Smash Master Wrestling. Like I didn't want just another wrestling show. There's nothing wrong with wrestling shows. I love wrestling shows. But they're done so well by so many people in so many places. I can't compete with that. But nobody knows how to party like we do in the Northeast PA.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to party like us coal crackers do. Nobody knows how to party like people that swim in the Susquehanna River. Okay. We are a different.
You guys got rivers. We either have shit creeks or stripping pits that have whirlpools that'll probably kill you. Like
when I get in the water, I prefer it to be on the West Branch because out in Williamsport it's actually clean. But I've tubed down like the Bloomsburg side of the Susquehanna, and I don't recommend it.
Yeah, we have the Skook River. And we have stripping holes. We have just giant holes that used to be mine pits that are now filled with water.
That's right. You're down in Sackville, right?
Yeah, we're in the Skook area. Yeah, where it's just like people like, oh, someone died in a stripping pit again this year because they got sucked under a current. It's crazy. But yeah, you haven't swam until you come back home and you have so much silt and sulfur on you that your skin smells and your body's orange. You know.
you go swim in the Susquehanna, you take a shower after, and then after you get out of the shower, your shower starts running because it needs to take a shower.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how filthy it is. Like there's the Berwick nuke plant, and then like 10 miles, 15 miles downriver, we're hopping in the water on our tubes,
Yep.
Smart folks. But look, that's all we have to do is drink and fight and do dumb things. So might as well make a wrestling show out of it, right?
Absolutely. Now, how we talked about the rookie of the year there, who are some other talent that if people have never watched a Smash Master Wrestling show, maybe, the fans are kind of voting on it right now. Let's talk about that. What are some matches that has happened in a 5 shows span that feels like the company's been going for 10 years because of some of the moments it's had that people should tune into when they go and subscribe to that YouTube channel?
As to which ones do you want to dial in on? Well, let me jump in on your first question there as to who's some people to look for. And of course we've got our old OG standbys like myself, the Diamond City War Machines, Kit Raff, Adena Steele. Like y'all know that.
I wonder how does Kit Raff feel about being considered an OG in the game now? Because he still looks like he's 21 years old.
he loves it. He keeps trying to pass it off that he's a 90-year-old man, but it's like, bro, now he probably has more matches than most people in Northeast PA do right now.
That he does, yes.
He's been a consistent workhorse over the years. The work that him and Keita Murray did over in the West Coast for a couple years definitely set him apart light years. I love working with Kid. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. He gets how mentally deranged I am. He puts up with I'll message him at 2:30 in the morning, like, bro, hear me out. Like if you ever get a message from me that starts out with "hear me out," there's 100% chance you're about to hear some wild bullshit that just popped in my head. But he'll deal with me on that all day. So there's my OGs, but there's a couple people that you do need to know about. I know he's your absolute favorite, Blackwell. I know he's your absolute favorite, and he can't buy a win right now to save his life at Smash. But Ricky Price.
What a scumbag.
The right money is on Ricky Price. And I think people are going to – I know he's a bit of a shitbird, but, I know that you give him a chance. I'm just asking you, give him a chance. He's a good kid.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Ricky Price is a talent. The kid is fantastic. He's amazing. He's going to tear the scene up. He's smart. He's only had less than, I think, 30, 40 matches in his young career. And
I want to say he had 48 matches. This is his first year. He started in February.
Yeah.
He's 42 or 48 matches already. He doesn't get himself stuck in just one circle, right? So he worked the home promotions. He got tied up with he lives in Port Jervis, New York, so it's right across the border. But he got tied up with some promotions in New York. He's got himself some leads on some promotions in New Jersey. He gets out and around, and he's got no problem networking. He's got no problem getting in a car and driving. He's hungry. He wants this. He knows how to cut a promo. He knows how to talk. He knows how to work. He's solid. Don't take him for my dates because he's mine. But any promoter out there that wants a young, hungry hustler that has his head together, give Ricky Price a shot.
Can I co-sign somebody else?
Is it going to be someone that I'm going to say anyway? Because I got two other names.
Definitely. The guy who won the one guy who won Wrestler of the Year for me because he jumped over the top turnbuckle and busted Ricky Price in his face. And MIT. That kid's another one.
Mr. Intellectual Tavius was the next name I wanted to bring up anyway. I met him at the Sanctuary. We trained together quite a bit there last year. Me and I just saw Schultz said tubing trip in Shamokin. No. Me and J.S. Hawthorne and MIT and Seymour, we would get together every once in a while and we'd throw down. And I saw something special in that kid from day one, and I liked him. And when we started putting together the Smash Master roster, there was no way that I couldn't include him. I see so much happening for him in the future, and I want Smash to be where he jumps from to go over the post and drop kick Ricky Price in the face. The story that the two of them are in the midst of telling that is going on that nobody even knows is one of the favorite things I've got going on at Smash Master Wrestling right now. And it's a slow burn, but just watch. I trust these two. I believe in these two so much that if the old guard lot was to just say, hey, we're all old and we're going to step away, knowing that those two guys were there to accept that that flag, that torch, I'm comfortable with that. I'm confident with that.
Mhm.
I had MIT work with someone who I've known for over 10 years and whose quality I know very well, and that was Jason Furious. And I told Furious to go out there and test him.
Dude, when Furious flipped from the top turnbuckle to the outside of the ring on just dirt and rocks and glass and whatever else was there, and I heard the air leave his body, I was like, what an absolute psychopath.
So I know we're talking about the spring chickens, but let's talk about someone who's not a spring chicken. That's Jason Furious. I don't know how this kid who, was one of the people that would throw hands with Deppen, throw hands with Ace when they were both young and getting started, how he's gone under the radar. I hate the term slept on, but how he's gone under the radar blows my mind. He's a solid wrestler. Fantastic talent. Another one of the first names that I had said I want him involved. He and I used to train together in a parking lot in Washingtonville in the middle of nowhere at this ring that a guy had. I love having him on board. Having him as a presence in the locker room is greatly beneficial. Anybody that just needs a good worker, no matter what you need, good worker. You want a high flyer, someone that hits hard, whatever. Jason Furious gets my full endorsement all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But again, don't try to book him on my days because he's mine. The third young name that I really want to put out there, and I said that this person, give him a year, and everyone's going to be talking. And you know what? I don't even think it's going to take her that long. Riley Crow.
I think the reinvention of Riley Crow coming into 2020, at the end of the 2022 into 2023, she is going to be a big deal.
Always looking to, so we don't have gender divisions at Smash Master Wrestling. We don't, equal fights, equal rights. We don't believe in a women's roster and a men's roster. I got wrestlers, and you fight who you fight. And we were looking to add more diversity without diversity hires, and Riley started coming around with Mike. And I'd been watching her at a couple other shows, and I was like, I'm just literally seeing from one show to the next, actually seeing improvement, just from the time that she started being with Mike and hanging around Mike and training with Mike. You could just see this like boom, 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 boom. She's another Wild Samoan training center person. She comes from good stock. And she just needs to be around the right people. And she got around the right people. And I said to, some of the OGs that I book with, and I said, look, I was like, what? Give her 1 year. Give her 1 year.
She can easily be in the Masha Slamovich category in a year's time.
Absolutely. The world is that girl's oyster. She just got to grab it. And I think she's around the right people. And
real quick to kind of pull the curtain back, what really helps her out a lot too is like when we're on the car rides home, we'll talk about the show, and then we'll talk about the match, like her match or Mike's match, and we're honest with each other. Like we'll be like, well, what was that like? This one kick I kind of messed up on, and Mike will be like, yeah, you did, but here's what the 3 things you did good, and here's what you could work on to make that better. And it's not like tearing each other down. It's generally being honest with each other to help each other get better. And I think that's another thing you need in this business too, is just honest people to be like, hey man, this day on commentary was fantastic, but maybe work on this, and this, and don't say this, and this. And I was like, good talk. I love that. You know what I mean? I think people need to respond to criticism, but don't take it as criticism. Take it as someone's giving you a piece of advice. Now, if that goes against who you are as a character and you're doing it on purpose, explain your take and have that conversation, but also learn to take that feedback, because not a lot of times in this business, in the world of creating content and everything like that, you don't get a lot of feedback, and you kind of just have to wing it as you go. So when it comes in, build off it.
So I look at it. I love duality. I love duality. I love when there's two opposing thoughts that are both right, and you just have to find the balance in the middle.
Yep.
Learn to mine for gold anywhere.
Mhm.
You can find a nugget of gold inside of a dog turd. Learn to mine for gold anywhere. But on the same token, learn to filter out the bullshit.
Yep.
So when someone comes up to you and gives you advice, especially if you didn't ask for it, be polite, accept what they have to say. If you don't want to engage, don't engage. It's okay to be like, oh, thank you very much, and move on. That's as easy as it needs to be. But learn to listen, because you might catch something even from an idiot like me. Like, I will ramble on, and there might be only one thread or two that you find in there of value. But listen for those threads, because I promise you, there's gold to be found in the weirdest of places. Just be willing to listen and analyze and think about things. Wrestling especially, there's 1,000 ways to do everything. Every one of them is right. Every one of them is wrong. And you can find a justification for an argument either way. Just go out there, be safe, and have fun. Treat each other with fairness, dignity, and respect. You do those things, the rest will work itself out in the wash.
Yeah. Well, we are getting close to that 50-minute mark. I try to keep them around an hour, but sometimes they go a little longer. This conversation, just like the one we had earlier today, will not be the end of it. We will be talking a lot more to Uncle Masty here throughout the year. Probably even have him on the wrestling content side of the page. We're reviewing some shows or maybe talking about some upcoming shows. But so if anyone has any questions to chat, please get them out there. But I have one quick thing that you have coming up for the 2023 era. You made a pretty interesting booking person here coming into a match. You've taken one of the top YouTube stars when it comes to professional wrestling, and you're bringing him out of New Jersey, which doesn't happen very often. And he's coming to the 570. We are going to get Grimm's Toy Show at Smash Master Wrestling. That is opening up a pretty wild door, because if Grimm comes to the 570 and sees what we have to offer, and we're proud of our 570 and we're proud of the people we work with, his YouTube channel is a great launching point to give really good 570 people an opportunity to maybe enter a new audience. And that is good work for a lot of people who deserve to see that shine.
So I don't know if anybody caught it earlier, but they just did the live premiere of Grimm Toy Show's Joey Janela versus Tarzan Duran today, and I watched it and it was fantastic. I gotta say, Philly Mike Swanson is a gateway drug.
Yes, he is.
He is 100% a gateway
in more ways than one.
In so many ways. I've had a lot of fun. Like, you were talking to Hawthorne earlier today about the random phone calls you'll get from Philly Mike saying that, like, hey, we've got this coming up. Do you want to go on a car ride? And I've been trying to say yes more to these things, because I can always find 30 reasons why I don't want to leave my house. And it's where my stuff is, my bed, my dog.
I'll promise you, if you take that car ride, you're going to have a blast.
So Mike hit me up and he's like, hey, do you want to go to Grimm's? He's like, there's a show we're recording, and I'm in a cookie jar scrambler. I'm like, pardon me, what? Time out. Y'all know how I feel about scramblers. I hate them, which is why AJ having this never-ending Smash Master scramblers driving me nuts.
Which I hope never ends. I hope he has a Goldberg streak. I hope every show it should just be I booked. I won't say exactly what I pitched, but I feel a very good scrambler opportunity for Smash Master Wrestling, and if it ever comes to fruition, I'm sponsoring that match because I want it. So I think it fit in really well as a next Christmas episode scrambler because the future past.
I don't want to tip too many hands. I got some good, you know me, I got some good scramblers lined up. My favorite thing about the scrambler is that no one has appeared in one more than once except for AJ. Very proud of that. It's not just a dumping place for extra talent. It's actually one of the matches I booked first. But anyway, I went to Grimm's and I watched this. It was a 6-man scrambler. But the thing was, it wasn't really a wrestling match, but it was. They had 4 cookie jars hidden around the GTS arena. 6 guys, 4 cookie jars, which means 2 losers. And none of this was like normal wrestling nomenclature mathematics. And I was like, all right, so this is bonkers and I fucking love it. And I just got to experience and enjoy it, as they're doing this, basically a scavenger hunt, floating around the GTS arena
while wrestling
jars, while wrestling and punching each other and doing moves. And I'm pretty sure James Gray did the old dick twist to Philly Mike, and like there was a lot of hurt feelings involved, and it was just bonkers, the whole thing. So like every time they would find a cookie jar, there's cookies inside and a piece of paper that says what belt you won or what title shot you were getting, and it was the craziest, dumbest shit I've ever seen. And I was putting together this birthday show, and now when I book the Scramblers, it is a 2-man conversation. It's me and AJ Evers. It's a negotiation. Sometimes it's a hostage negotiation, and it's a lot of like which one of us can get the other one to like finally be like, bro, like that's a little too much,
Yeah.
and nobody ever does. Thank God we don't have Trajan in the mix. Otherwise, we don't just be in jail at this point. So I said to him about wanting to do this birthday scrambler, and I was like, I'm big on themes. I was like, Vanilli Glamrock will bring the music, and Daniel Alexander is going to bring the puppets, and like just going through. I was like, AJ is like, you bring the party game, and he's like, can we play Pin the Tail on the Donkey? And the idea of doing Pin the Tail on the Scrambler just made me giggle to no end. And I was like, all right, yeah, we'll just call it Pin the Tail and Scramblers. Like, can we put the donkey tail on a pole? At this point, I felt called out. I felt challenged.
So they're going to wrestle for the tail, then have to get it across to where the donkey is, and the winner is when they put the okay. The tail I would love that.
Has to go on the opponent because you have to pin the tail on the donkey.
Yeah, what I said makes too much sense. I didn't think like AJ
You were getting way too logical. You have to retrieve the tail and then pin the because remember, the only way to win the scrambler is by pin or submission. So you have to pin the tail on the donkey.
And then pin that guy?
And pin the guy or a person.
So the person cannot take the fall unless they're wearing the tail?
They gotta have the tail.
Oh, I fucking love it. Can this be like a new...
We're going to do it once. We'll see if we ever do it again.
It's going to be in WWE's video game in 2 years. It's going to be
definitely. Look. Let's be honest. Look at this face here. I'm Uncle Masty, right? Now go ahead and pull up Uncle Howdy and tell me how much I hate myself right now.
Yeah. Here's my thing. What's one of the most popular video games of 2022? Fall Guys. It's a simple game of Fall Guys, and it's essentially a survival. And like that pin the tail on the donkey seems like pro wrestling meets Fall Guys. But yes.
So when we were trying to find, I want to get back to the main point.
Yeah, please, yes, yeah.
Yeah, because you know how both of us are. So we were trying to figure out, who's this 5th person, and I had a couple names on it because I've got a list of people I want to use in scramblers, but it's finding the right fit with the right match, and it's like, I got this guy, but if I can't get this guy, what about this guy? And then it was Mike, and he was like, bro, because I told him, I was like, all right, I'll get an idea, and me and AJ will think it's a great idea, and I need to check with an adult. And usually there's not one available, so I'll check with Kit Raff or Philly Mike or Bougie or any of the people on my roster and be like, yo, hear me out. Or poor Alex. I'm pretty sure that Alex and Paige have me just muted at this point in any group chat that we're in, because it's bad idea central. And I was talking to Mike, and he was just laughing his ass off about it. He's like, "What?" He's like, "You need to get Grim on there." And I was like, "Oh fuck, that's brilliant." Like I said, Philly Mike's a gateway drug.
And then you're like, "There's no way Grim's gonna do this."
Yeah, and I was like, Grim ain't gonna want to come from Jersey to Pennsylvania for my 40th birthday show.
And
And
it's also like he has his own essentially sanctuary. Why would he go work anywhere else?
why would he come slum it all the way out here? But I don't know. He immediately, like, I pitched it to him, and immediately he's like, "Yo, I'm in." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
When I first seen Grim, it was like, oh shit. At first I was like, oh, this is different. And then I was like, wait, why am I looking at this as pro wrestling eyes? This is essentially everything I love about the Sanctuary. This is everything I love about pro wrestling, where you just genuinely have fun doing it. And then the more I consumed it, I was like, this is a good time. Like, if this guy knew that what we were doing existed and we found a way to bridge that gap and connect them, it would be magic. And then once again, our biggest gateway drug, Philly Mike Swanson, put those connections together, where he walked in the Sanctuary and goes, bro, this is indoor Grims. Like, you can come here and have a serious match, or you can come here and do the most craziest bullshit of all time. No one's collecting a paycheck, but everyone loves to be here.
How many times did me and Hawthorne knock each other out? Like,
yeah,
it's puppets and bullshit. I love it. It's the Muppets meets pro wrestling. And when I went to Grimm's, I was like, this is outdoor Sanctuary.
Yep. Exactly how I seen it. I was like, this is yeah, it's exactly, this is almost the exact analogy. Yeah.
Like, I just, because that was my experience first. I was like, this is outdoor Sanctuary. This is great. And I loved it. And what I love about this birthday show, and not to float my own ego, but I get down on myself a lot. Like, I suffer from some shit. And to know that High Tension's got a presence, obviously, because they're our partner organization, but Leapfrog's going to have a presence on this show. Intergender Bonanza has a presence on this show.
Love that.
There's actually some IGB business that is going to go down on this show, from what I'm told. So I'm curious as to what that's going to be. All I know is when I told Adena that Stan Styles was going to be in the house, she just started cursing. So this ought to be fun. We have Grim is going to be there, and the toy show is being represented. We have champions from multiple companies on hand. I feel like like I said, I get down on myself a lot, but I get reminded that this is a loving community, and it can be, and people will come out, and as long as you just treat people with fairness, dignity, and respect, you don't got to make everybody happy all the time, but if you just treat people okay, try, they'll be there for you. Stan Styles has been one of my biggest supporters. You know what we talk about most of the time when we're chatting? Not wrestling. We're sending each other pictures of protein cookies because shit's funny. And I love the relationships I've been able to build with wrestling. I've known Phil Stamper was at my high school graduation party. I've known Lucky and those boys, since the same time, since I was a senior in high school. I've got friendships that have lasted 20 plus years. Brad, Pinhat, anybody, JS Michaels, anybody from that old Valley Championship Wrestling days. I am so blessed to be around good people that, to me, when wrestlers say, I want to get the fuck out of here, I almost get offended,
That's the new slogan. We're keeping it. Stay home. Stay home.
Yes, stay the fuck home. Like, and if you don't want to wrestle in the 570, that's fine. Get the fuck out.
Your loss.
Yeah. I love the people that love being here. I love the community that has come out and supported Smashmaster Wrestling like you wouldn't believe. I love our sponsors. None of them have to put up with us. I love the Troop Civic Center. Like I said, it's an hour away from home, but the people in that building, they treat me better than people in my own county do. Like, it's crazy. This is home, and it deserves to have a premium professional wrestling show, experience, party, whatever you want to call it. And damn it, we're going to give it to them.
And if you're not aware, if you haven't experienced the Smash Master experience, please do. And then after every Smash Master Wrestling show, you can head over to the after party. So if you didn't get that experience of maybe meeting your favorite wrestler or your favorite star, having that one-on-one time or talking to them or having a beer with them, you head over to Classics after the show, and it's another party where we all just hang out and talk about the show and just enjoy each other's company. It's a very special experience. Real quick, when we started here, Smash Master Wrestling, you're up to 55 subscribers. So one more time, I'm going to put it in the chat. If you are watching this back later or you're watching it now, take a couple seconds out of your day, please. If you support this channel, if you support me, head over to that page and hit subscribe and hit the bell. Lots of great content coming. Also with the High Tension Wrestling Network, please support their brand.
Couldn't do it without Alex and Andrew and the High Tension crew. Couldn't do it without them.
2023 is literally it's not just the year ABJ, it's not just the year of High Tension, it's not the year of Smash, dude. It's the year of our wrestling family, and not one of us are gonna fucking succeed. We all are, and we're all bringing each other up. We're coming in, dude. We're wrecking every family reunion. We're showing up, and we're gonna show at the 570. And even if you're not technically 570 blood, but you've been riding with us, you're fucking on our train. So get on the train now, because if you lose your seat, sorry, the train's moving, baby. And we're doing big things, whether it's across this 570 brand, whether you're part of Sanctuary, whether you're High Tension, just get on us now, because we're fucking moving, baby. It's going to be a great year.
So much fun. Nobody does fun like we do fun.
That's right. So grab your yings, grab your chetties, whatever it is that you drink, and let's have some fun this year.
Speaking of classics, I have 6 shows over the summer months that we're going to be doing at the bar.
And where's that going to happen? Like in the alley or
out? Well, there's a spot out back. They've got a bar out back, so we're going to be outdoor. It's going to be tight. It's going to be standing room only. But guys, Smash Master Wrestling at a bar. Some of the people I've got lined up coming in, you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be 570 versus the world on every show. Every single show is going to have a theme. It's like my Scrambler, but on, even crazier. You're going to see some stuff that nobody else sees in this area, and we're going to bring it to you. So come on down to Classics. The dates are posted on our Facebook, which is at Smash Master Wrestling, or on our Instagram.
Can I pitch an idea?
You can pitch ideas, but remember what my favorite booking word is.
I think you're gonna like this. What is one thing that we're known for in the 570, at least on our side of the 570, when you're maybe not of age? We need a 570 bush party. we need a Smash Master Wrestling bush party.
So, did you see that? God, you make it all right. I'm gonna. Sorry, Alex. I'm gonna tip some cards here. Add me later. Did you see on New Year's Day, High Tension released the Abs in Hell?
Yeah.
The match. So, you're gonna see some footage coming out from an event that we filmed privately called the Smash Yard Barbecue.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spoil all the surprises, but there are plenty. It's essentially a bush. It's essentially a bush party. If you saw the Brian Ace and Abs match, which you absolutely should, because for the first time in a long time, Abs defended that participation trophy. That's not an important note or anything. If you've seen that, and I recommend you do see it, that's a lot of what you're going to see. If you were at Smash Monster and you saw Adena and Stan Styles in the kiddie pool cream pie, which everybody hates when I call it that,
I love it.
It came from somewhere on the Smash Yard Barbecue. There's going to be some fun things that you're not going to want to miss, and the only way to find it, it's not on the Smashmaster page. It's going to be through the High Tension Network YouTube page. So there's a lot of exclusive content coming there. We have more and more plans for more, well, I just say dumb shit that we can do. Guys, I love pro wrestling. I love making these events. I will keep doing it as long as I have the budget that allows me to do so. A bush party is a fantastic idea. A barnyard brawl is a fantastic idea. Any of the dumb millions of ideas that we've had are great. And the thing that I love about our roster, my roster, the High Tension roster, the Elite Pro roster, everybody's on board to do stuff. So if you want to be wildly entertained,
we all know how to let our guard down and just have fun and not take ourselves too seriously. And I think that's what makes our brand good. And I think that's why the brand of Grim kind of, hopefully, if that merging into something beautiful, I think is going to be really fun.
And yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun crossover with that. Again, I don't want to spoil things, but we've got a lot of cool things in the works. I want everyone to get a chance to be a part of it, to come down and be involved. Most importantly, come on down and watch all of our Troop Civic Center shows. Kids 12 and under are free. Drop a busload of them off. I don't even care. Just drop a busload of them off. We want to entertain the crowd. We want to entertain our community. We want to provide a fun and memorable experience to people. Come be a part of it. Come on down.
Yeah.
Come on down. Come on down.
So that'll wrap it up for this episode. And towards the end here, I'm gonna drop next Tuesday's guest right here, right now. So coming out of Backbreaker School, another kid who had a great 2022 and had some appearances at Smashmaster Wrestling. Yeah, baby. Damon Dante going to be episode 15. He'll be the episode in the morning. And then we talked a little bit about Camp Leapfrog and someone who does a lot of behind the scenes at Camp Leapfrog that you may not even know when it comes to social media. Very funny guy, also a stand-up comic. And we drowned him in a pool at one point in time at Camp Leapfrog. Skiff will be the late night episode. So Kevin Skiffington will be the late night Tuesday episode, and that is going to be next Tuesday here at ABJ Podcast. Tons of fun things coming. Like I said, head to the links below. Support Adena. Support Philly Mike. I almost said support Kit. You can support Kit too if you want. Support everybody. Like I said, my links are down there for social media, Patreon, as well as social medias that you can follow. All the social medias are above my head. I actually implore you to check out the Discord. The Discord's great. We're almost up to 100 subscribers up there. There's always people in there talking wrestling, talking independent, talking movies, talking video games. It's just a great community. If you're ever sitting there and you're feeling alone because maybe you're an introvert and you don't like leaving your house, but you like the chat room environment, dude, our Discord's for you. There's always someone in there you can talk. Everyone's super welcoming. Come check us out and come hang out. We're less than 10 members away from 100, and it's a great community we're building.
Our Discord's for you. There's always
there it is. Little echo. But anyway, Masty, thank you so much. I'm really happy we've rekindled because you're someone I love a lot, man, and I enjoyed our conversations and our times at the church, and I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing, and I'm Smashmaster is very special, and I can't wait to see it grow more.
I appreciate you, my man. I'm glad I found you at Sunday school detention.
We're like the Breakfast Club.
Seriously, man. And I want to echo the statement, like, don't buy my merch right now. Adena Steele, Philly Mike, two of my nearest, dearest friends, go buy their merch. These kids are out of work right now. Help them out. Give me the follows on social media, but go buy their merch. They're solid, good people for the most part. Adena's an awesome person. Philly's pretty deep. He's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
We're starting to get along a little bit better. But no, seriously, I'm so appreciative and supportive of everyone in the roster, of everyone that's involved in Smashmaster Wrestling. It is totally more than just the people that you see in the ring. I'm so grateful for guys like George. I'm so grateful for Gavin and his dad. I'm so grateful for Maddie D and Frank and Dylan and our referees, like just everybody that's got a part to play. Pete and Jordan doing commentary.
Fantastic team.
Narration. Oh my goodness.
I was literally sitting on the the table, and Alex got up and walked away, and I just put the headphones on and listened to them call matches. And Pete is amazing. And some people flounder next to Pete because they get intimidated because he may not want to admit it or he may not want to do it, but Pete's so good at what you do. Either you sink or swim, and his co-host is definitely swimming, and he's doing exactly what you should do when you're sitting next to a Pete, and that's just bettering yourself. And they're both very talented commentary team.
Both of them right here from the 570, homegrown. Gotta love it. Paige, love you, Paige. Thank you so much for everything.
Best photographer. Her and one of the best photographers is not even taking photos at the show. He's usually in the ring, pin hat. Holy Hannah.
And we've had Nettie come down, and she shot candids for us, and she's fantastic. I mean, everybody that gets their hands wet in Smash Masters business, it's just so delightful and wonderful. And we do a really good job of filtering out the riffraff and keeping this area with a quality product, top to bottom. I'm so blessed. It's an embarrassment of riches. To everyone who's tried to, reach out to me to get booked, I'm sorry. We're so slammed right now and so back.
Come hang out.
Just come hang out. I want to put over Daniel Alexander really quick, the kid with the puppets. He's a phenomenal wrestler. I've been on shows with him before. He came with Rocket on the December show.
Another one. Home.
Fantastic. Matt Tremont doesn't put out bad students. If you come from the H2O school.
Wait, sorry, quick. Matt Tremont, the new IWTV champion, Matt Tremont.
Absolutely. He deserves every flower he's given. One of the best people in the game right now. But yeah, he doesn't have a bad
4 months in the burn ward in 2022.
He's just absolutely wonderful. He's a sweetheart, great human being. Expect to see more of his kids popping up. I'm a big fan of everything Hardcore Hustle has going on. But Daniel Alexander,
we get Matt Tremont at a party maybe this year?
I have a wish list. It's on. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. I don't know if he'd slum it to come on up. But Matt, if for whatever reason someone tells you about this, you are welcome at any point.
Matt Tremont versus Masty.
Oh my God!
I would love to see that.
Bro. I'm gonna hold my breath on it. You know me, I love to learn, and that man can teach. So bring it on. God, that would be fun. But Daniel Alexander, I got to put this put over in because it's very important. He showed up with Rocket, came in, didn't ask for a spot. Let me know he was there. Let me know he was available. Asked what he could do to help. Did anything that was asked of him. Complete professional. Got his puppets out and said, hey, I know there's not a spot because I didn't. The show was overbooked. Didn't have an extra spot. He said, and it's snowing like crazy. He's like, do you mind if I work the floor with the puppets? Because there's a lot of kids here. And he asked permission. I'm not going to tell him no. And because of that, he left such a good impression that I found a spot for him on my next show. And if you're looking for a way to get into Smash Master Wrestling, I don't have time to I'm working on graphics, I'm working on videos, I'm working on scripting, I'm working on every other aspect of the show. I don't have time to sit down and go through the alphabet soup of a resume. Get a recommendation from somebody I know, show up, offer to help out. Chances are you'll win me over because I'm a very easy to be won over person. But just
showing up with not a job and finding something for yourself to fit in, because everybody in the wrestling business knows there's so many things you can do to make the show flow, and just the fact that you showed up and you were willing to do that is 9 times out of 10 you're going to be part of a brand after that.
Absolutely. And that's how you get in. But like harassing me on Instagram, harassing me on Facebook, blowing up my messenger every time I put a show announcement up, you know who you are. That ain't going to do it. Anybody that tells me what to do usually gets the opposite. So just show up, help out, be a good person. Don't be a hassle. Contribute value to the locker room with your presence. And that's how you'll win me over. And I love y'all. I want to thank you for the time. I want to thank everybody. Buy stuff from Philly. Mike, buy stuff from Adena Steele. And then on March 5th, come to my birthday party. Let's eat cake and watch me beat the living shit out of Jay Bougie, stuff him in an ambulance, and send him on his merry way.
Jay Bougie and Face versus Uncle Masty and JS Hawthorne. My two guests today on the ABJ podcast. Boy, was that a great reunion. I after the show I called him and I said, boy, that was special for behind the curtain, just to see you guys hugging it out in the ring and gonna lock horns together and take out some people. Like he said, 5-7-0 versus the world, and what good people that we're gonna see you guys lock horns against. Smashmaster Wrestling, high tension wrestling, the heart and soul of 5-7-0 isn't going anywhere, and we have great things that we're going to do, especially here on the ABJ podcast. You're going to see a lot more people of the roster on this podcast, so you're going to learn a lot about them and hanging out. Tons and tons of more content coming. Thank you guys so much once again, episode 14. Make sure you hit those likes, subscribes, and support the people below in the links. We'll see you next time for the ABJ podcast. Here's some amazing music by Billy Trey. We'll see you next time.
5-7 over everybody, and put that on a t-shirt.
Let's do it. And listen, if you're a miserable fuck, stay home. We're
Stay
all about
home.
beating dead horses.